What up, world? This is the comedian Leger, and today I am here with the moderator of the Puget Sound Association. Everybody give a hand clap. Yay! All right, we're here with my pastor, Pastor Anthony Boles, A.D. Boles. How you doing, Pastor?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, I have a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you about the Puget Sound Association. First of all, what is the Puget Sound Association?
The Puget Sound Association is a gathering of churches for higher learning with God. You see, when you're in the world, you want to improve yourself, so you go to school, okay, to get a better education so you can get a better job. When you're in the church, you go to get extracurricular so that God will show you greater favor. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So that's what it's about. It's about higher learning.
Okay. Well, when did the Puget Sound Association start?
It started with my father when the Washington Baptist Convention was going strong, and it had about 21 churches with it. Pastor Price was the head of it. And it started back when St. John Baptist, Missionary Baptist Church was going on. And that's when it started.
Okay.
Let me say this. It takes two associations to make a convention. So they had association in Seattle and the Puget Sound Association here, which made us have a great convention. And so it was the founding association.
Well, you answered a couple of those questions there, and I have done a little bit of research on it, and I want to know how many members are in this Puget Sound Association?
Well, since the retirement of Pastor J.A. Boles and Pastor Stutz had took over the convention, unfortunately he let the convention go, and so it is no more. He let the association in Seattle go. So it is no more, and this was the last association. As Pastor Price, I was following him when he died. He hadn't passed it on to anybody, but I was as close as associated, and they contacted me and voted me in to be the next moderator. Now it's my job to keep this one going, build another association so we can bring back the convention.
What other companies do the Puget Sound Association work with?
Other companies?
Companies, churches,
Okay,
businesses?
we don't work with companies, we work with churches. We have Mount Sinai, Pastor Price's old church, and then we have Mount Tabor, and we had New Genesis was with us, but their pastor had a stroke, and so they pulled out. So right now we have 3 churches, and it started off with 10 folk as we were coming back, and it went up to about 20 now. And we were growing strong, but then the COVID hit, and we haven't had but one session, and that was the Women's Minister Alliance celebration of the birth of the Women's Minister Alliance. Haskins as the president. And since then, our last meeting, there was about 15 people there. But we're waiting for the COVID to pass, because God is going to bless us either way it goes.
Amen. Okay. How does the Puget Sound Association help out with the community? Or does it help us with the community?
What we do is we help churches. We have some baby churches and we have some grown churches. And some of those baby churches don't have the guidance that they need. In other words, young pastors make big mistakes, don't run the business part right, and they go down. You know, we've been here 13 years. St. John Baptist Church number 2 has been here 13 years. We've seen about 6 churches go down. So we help young churches, we guide them if they're willing to be taught.
Amen. Okay, does the PSA, the Puget Sound Association, do you guys have a charter or
charter.
chapter, or how does it function?
How does it function? Well, I have the moderator, there's vice, first vice, second vice, treasurer, and then there's a vice treasurer. But right now, since the COVID has come, right now it's just the moderator and the treasurer. We need a first vice and a second vice to come in, and we're looking for some new churches to fill that position.
That's the next question. How does one obtain an office in the Puget Sound Association?
Well, first you have to come and you have to let us know you want an office, okay? And then you have to establish that you're going to be committed. You can't hold an office and not show up. You have to show up for all the functions. You have to do your part, okay? So you have to give us a year. Show us that you're going to show up regular, then we'll take a vote and vote you in.
Amen.
There's also dues. You know, the dues depend on size of the church. Small churches is $50, medium churches is $100, and big churches is $125. So those we meet quarterly, 4 times a year. And in the quarterly, during the second time, we have a unity picnic. And so all those quarters, all those things we need them to show up for. Pastor McClure has a doctorate degree. He's our men's teacher. Mrs. Booker, Angie Booker, is our women's teacher.
Amen.
Amen. And so we need them to show up. These are people that you can count on. Amen. You see, when you get ordained, the first thing they teach you. Now, if you get ordained by the church, now, we don't take ordinations from the computer, because the major part of ordination is you have to show up. God ain't talking about part-time, he's talking about full-time. You know, so you have to show up. So if you're ordained, and you've been ordained through some churches, and you went your year, and you passed your year trial, then that's the type we're looking for, those that are committed. Because we're determined to bring the convention back to its full fruition.
In the convention, what is the goal of the convention?
The goal of the convention is to gather all the churches and become one church. Jesus said, at the end we will be one church, and all the branches will come together. So we want to gather all the branches in Washington to become one unified church. If we have any discrimination issues, we can go to the court and be 3,000 strong. They respect that in court. Amen?
Amen. And last but not least, how long have you been moderator?
This is my 3rd year.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Anthony Boles. world? This is your boy, the comedian Leger, bringing you another installment of B.I.C. Presents The Underground. Just type in B.I.C. Presents on YouTube. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.